So this is where we left off from last time. Right after we did this project over here with planting the seeds. So the next thing we're gonna go over here is automated fertilization. So what that means is the seeds over here need to grow much faster. So the fertilizer basically makes them grow fast really quickly. So instantly they become ready to be harvested. So let's look at this farming program right here to check out how we do that. So just like last time, we have the dimensions. We have the current row and current column to increment and decrement later on. We have the fuel, and then this time we're selecting more than one item from the chest. So this first one, turtle, let's select 2. Turtle, let's select down 64. That one selects down the seeds we use to plant everything. But the next one, if you look right here, we also have a bunch of fertilizer, which is this bone meal here. Bone meal is fertilizer in Minecraft. So we're sucking down multiple times. So we get all of the fertilizer. And the way the fertilizer works in Minecraft is 3 fertilizers applied to a plant makes it fully grow. So we have to apply. Basically, the logic here is just like last time. We're gonna till the land. We're gonna plant the seeds. But this time we're gonna apply 3 fertilizers to each seed to make it grow instantly. So let's see how we do that. So we have turtle.forward, turtle.dig, and then turtle.select, and then turtle.place down. So this first dig thing, just as a reminder, tills the land. The second the first place down over here, that places the seeds. And then after we select our third inventory slot, and the 3 subsequent place down functions, those are going to place down your fertilizer. So we're just adding in more and more information into the loops, just like last time. Just like we did with the seeds, we're adding more and more information. So now going back to our while loop logics here, we see current column is less than equal to columns. So as a reminder, just in case you didn't catch on how the logic was working in the previous video, basically what we're doing is we're dealing with this area as like an array. So we're gonna deal with the rows by columns, and we're looking at the outside as the column. So basically, the turtle has to progress through each row in every column, and the rows and columns keep incrementing to make sure that the loop only runs as long as until all of these blocks are filled. So that's why we have this loop here, while current column is less than the current rows, because current column will keep incrementing until we hit the maximum number of columns, and inside each column we're gonna have a number of rows incrementing over and over, because as we move in the column, we're gonna keep going down the row, and then down the row, and down the row, and so on. So that's why we have a while loop inside of another while loop. And then the logic here is place the seeds, and then you have this other added thing right here. If turtle get item count 3 is greater than 0, then turtle select 3, else turtle select 4. Because the reason is since we're adding 3 fertilizers for every single plant, for every single seed, the fertilizers will get over much faster than the seed, because we're doing 3 fertilizers for every single seed. So at some point we're gonna run out of bone meal in this inventory slot, and then we need to know whether we should move to the next slot or not. Think about this as the inventory slots in the turtle. So basically what happens is these if statements here with the else if are basically checking the item count. So as long as there's some sort of as long as there's still some bone meal left in the inventory slot, then we can select the item and take the fertilizer out of it and use it. So this else if basically tests for if the 3rd inventory slot is empty, then check the 4th inventory slot. Then if the 4th inventory slot is empty, then there must be the only place to go to now is the 5th inventory slot. So that's what this last else statement here is, and that just allows us to deal with having multiple inventory slots all have the same thing, but they run out at different rates. So then after we select our fertilizer, we basically place it down 3 times to make it grow, increment our rows so we can move on. And then this is the logic to rotate, because when we're going down an odd column, we have to rotate to the right to start coming back this way. While we're coming we're coming back to the fence on an even column, we have to turn left to keep going this way, which is why we use modulus operator to check the remainder to see if the column is even or odd, and based on that, turn right or turn left. We do the same logic again with fertilizer. Here's the left loop, and then incrementing for current column, resetting the current row, and this while loop keeps on going on until all the columns have been exhausted. And then moving back to the original position, we have this moving back row and moving back column variables. Remember, this basically lets us keep moving back until we've gone like the number of rows that are necessary. Keep moving back this way until we've gone through all the columns. Because at the end of this, we're going to end up right up there in the corner. So we have to know the exact number of rows to come down, exact number of columns to come down. And that's all for this. That's all for this code. It works the exact same way, except this time we're going to add 3 fertilizers after you plant each seed. So let's see how this works. Okay. Farm. So the little delay there was because the turtle was sucking in the items. And you can see how the fertilizer working, because with each added fertilizer, the crop grows bigger and bigger until we've reached their max potential. And fertilizer, like you would think it would do, enhances plant growth so we can get our yield faster, which is another practical application of farming, because we want our plants to grow fast and efficiently. So we'll just wait for this program to finish running and finish planting all the seeds and adding the fertilizer. You can notice the right and left logic, as you see in the previous 2 examples, where the turtle turns left when it's on an odd column, it turns right on an odd column, it turns left on an even column. So there was a logic, or there to use the logic we used there was those other while loops, which allowed us to increment to come back the right number of rows and then come back the right number of columns. And here we have a wonderful field of whatever crop this seed grows. So this is how fertilizer we basically changed it from just this lively green here to actual edible crops. So the next thing, obviously after we get our crops, we have to harvest it and actually use it, right? So this next program here is on harvesting, and it's going to work slightly differently, not too much. It's going to be the same kind of basic logic. This time we're going to be having to collect all of this crop, collect the whole crop yield, and then place it into this chest. So we're not taking these out, we're actually placing these in. So let's take a look at what this harvest program is going to do. So right now it's still named farm. So we have the same sort of logic with moving around, just like treating the farm area as an array. So we have the rows and the columns. We have our current row and current column to track our position. We have our functions to refuel and move forward. And then this time, instead of we're using turtle.dig down. Previously, we used turtle.dig down as a function to till the land, but that basically just breaks the first bit of land. And this time, turtle.dig down is gonna break the block on top of the land, which is the crop. So turtle.dig down essentially harvests the crop and places it into one of the inventory slots over here. And we have the same logic here to move around, and we're doing turtle.dig down each time, each slot, so we can harvest each crop. And then it's the same as before. We have our moving back functions, and then our last task is to place items back into the inventory, but place them back into the chest because we need to have all of our crop yield stored somewhere, right? So since there's a lot of crop yield, we're assuming there's gonna be crops and stuff present in multiple spots, which is why we have multiple spots selected, and we're doing multiple drop-up functions. Drop-up essentially puts the crops up into the container. And our last thing, we have turtle.drop-up, turtle.get count to -1. Usually drop-up will just put all of the stuff in, but this specific one, we're saying we're gonna basically leave one left in here. I guess it's just so we can eat it, but this just leaves one thing left in the inventory. So now that we explored this code, let's see how it works. So the dig down function is breaking all of the corn blocks and putting into the turtle's inventory. So the turtle has finished harvesting all of its corn, now it's moving back. And now the turtle is gonna sit under this box and put all of its stuff back in. So we can see, oops, the turtle has left one seed in because of the last bit over there that did count -1. That just left one seed left in the turtle. It left one wheat left in the turtle. And yeah, that's basically how this works. So in the next oh, and one thing I forgot to add here is actually what happens is after we collect all of the wheat, we also end up collecting seeds, which is like a very basic thing, which also accumulates in our turtle, which accounts for some additional seeds we have over here. So that's just one thing I forgot to add. And our seeds should still be there, and we still have our wheat. So this is all what we'll do for this video. We finished learning all of the basic farming utilities. We learned how to till the land, we learned how to plant seeds, we learned how to fertilize it, and we learned how to harvest it. And this project here, this last one here, we're going to be putting everything together and essentially putting everything together, and then we're going to combine it into one big project which encompasses all these things in one program. We're going to do separate programs, but we're going to basically farm a land plot of our own. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the last video for next time.